Hi.
Art 101 with Mr. Burgher.
Hey friends, welcome to this next episode of Art 101 with me, Mr. Burgher. The themes discussed are for individuals 13 years and older, and if you like the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, clicking all of the bells and the whistles.
Contributing to the delinquency of minors. Correct, boy wonder.
And with that, let the games begin.
Let the games begin.
Who doesn't remember the 1989 Tim Burton classic, Batman?
I'm Batman.
Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger, it's packed. Jack Palance, who doesn't remember Jack Palance?
That you, Sugar Bumps?
One of my favorite scenes in the film is where the Joker goes through the Gotham City Art Museum, defacing all the artwork, making it kind of jokery. But what are these actual artworks that are in the Gotham City Art Museum? Let's take a really quick minute and go through each of these artworks in the Gotham Art Museum and give a little bit of information about each one.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Upon entering the gallery space, the Joker dances over to a statue that he quickly destroys. The work is very generic, but it very much resembles this work, Standing Woman, which was a Middle Kingdom Egyptian sculpture that is in an art gallery in Baltimore, Maryland. This is one of two works that was very tricky to identify because of its generic nature.
Oh, dear me. What feeble memories you have.
As Joker's crew makes his way through the gallery space, in the background we see the defacing of the first of two Rembrandts that would be depicted. The Sampling Officials of the Drapers Guild was a priceless work by Rembrandt that is currently located in Amsterdam. Because of its priceless nature, anyone that would destroy this is out of their mind.
You're out of your mind, Bruce Wayne.
Doesn't mean I'm wrong.
The Joker twirls in and orders for the shaving of Abraham Lincoln. Strangely enough, we do not see this work being destroyed.
This doesn't change anything.
This is a somewhat obscure painting by Douglas Volk, an American portrait painter, muralist, and educator, who painted this portrait of Lincoln 43 years after his death. As the Joker is dancing around, some artwork is in the background that he appears to be less interested in.
Gravely assessing the devastation.
Spirit of 76 is far from an internationally known work and mostly a national icon, but it is a unique inclusion into this film. It's also interesting to note that this is the only work that's owned by a city and not a part of a major collection or museum. During this crazy montage, the only work that the Joker actually touches with paint is this painting by Edward Hopper, in case there was doubt that the Joker was here.
I knew he'd think he'd come back here.
Approaching a City was created by Edward Hopper in 1946 and is a part of the Phillips collection in Washington, D.C. That brings us to the second Rembrandt in the Gotham collection. Self-Portrait at the age of 63 was one of Rembrandt's great works that is now in the National Gallery in London. But why would anyone destroy this great piece of work?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
She may be evil, but she is attractive. You'll know more about that in a couple of years.
And that brings us to the first of two works by Edgar Degas. Two dancers on a stage is quintessential Degas, which they go about destroying.
Oh. Speak of the angel.
This painting from 1874 can be found in a private gallery in London.
And now a second sculpture.
Now this work was also very challenging for me to be able to identify.
What's that supposed to mean?
Because the movie prop looks very little like the actual sculpture, it's kind of tricky. But I believe that I have correctly identified this as the bust of Emperor Augustus that can be found at the Prado Museum in Spain.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the second of the works by Degas, an obscure sculpture of a pretty ballerina.
I saw her first.
Degas' small sculptures like this one, Grand Arabesque Second Time, were all cast after his death. If you want more information on his work, I do have videos on him and many of these other artists. I'll link them below. The 10th image presented was pink and blue. The Renoir painting was in and out of this movie very, very quickly.
Has anybody ever told you you have a serious impulse control problem?
It doesn't take an egghead to recognize that this painting was also in and out very quickly.
My amazing brain tells me that we haven't seen the last of them yet.
Woman Holding a Balance by Vermeer is one of the crown jewels of the National Gallery in Washington, D.C. As the Joker and his crew make his way up the stairs, he finds the Blue Boy, created by Thomas Gainsborough, a British portrait landscape painter from the 1700s.
Let's redecorate.
And that brings us to the 13th artwork destroyed by the Joker and his goons.
I see without seeing.
The Athenaeum Portrait is an unfinished portrait of George Washington, America's first president. It's also the likeness that is used for the $1 bill, as noted by the Joker. And finally we arrive at the 14th and final painting in the museum.
I kinda like this one, Leave it.
The only painting completely spared by the Joker is Francis Bacon's painting Figure with Meat. And this painting can be found at the Art Institute of Chicago.
I make art until someone dies.
Yeah, that's a classic story. I love that.